Yeah, next question comes from Stephanie Seidel. And she's saying, you have produced quite some content about both Trump and Biden. Since you're both Canadian, would it not be an idea to produce more on Trudeau too? So yeah, here's the thing.
Well, now it is.
Now it is.
Yeah,
there's an election that's about to happen here in Canada. Trudeau's called an election, so yeah, we're probably going to look out for that episode. Generally, in the past, what's happened is that Trump and Biden, like the U.S. presidency, for instance, has a lot more impact on a lot of the topics that we talk about, like U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East and the way that it affects, the Muslim world. Before that, you had the war on terror. Whereas the Trudeau in Canada, it's usually about, you want to build this building. No, I don't want to build this building. That kind of thing. So it's usually not as relevant. But yeah, we definitely will have now this year at least an episode on the whole Trudeau thing. We'll see.
Yeah, the snap election actually makes sense. I don't know if it's going to be successful or not, because the current Liberal Party has a minority, and they're hoping, given what the polls show, and given how successful Trudeau has been when it comes to the tackling the Cove, okay,
the Cove,
and the VAC rates in Canada. Yeah. The VAX rate.
Do you want to explain why we're doing that? Just so we don't get kicked off of YouTube, right? So yeah,
YouTube thinks like we're saying something that we're not if we actually use the words. Okay, the VAX rates in Canada has been so much higher than most other even developed countries, like so high. Like it has been such a major success.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. United States. So like I don't know. A lot of people hate Trudeau, but this has been a major success. Like this has objectively been a major success. And for all the things that you might hate about Trudeau, like it's really good to see how successful this whole thing has been in Canada. And strategically, given the results of how well the job was done, it makes, I'm not saying it's going to work because we don't know. Sometimes like you have snap elections and you actually end up, you were trying to go from a minority government to a majority government because of good performance or something like that. But there are, like, I think the conservatives before this tried the snap election and they went from being a minority to remaining a minority. I think that was the the conservative when they tried that, it didn't work. But overall, it worked most of the time. Like most of the time when the polls show that this is the time to have a snap election and they had a snap election, it ended up being a good result. So this, based on historical, based on how it worked most of the time, it makes sense for even though, by the way, Trudeau said that they will never have snap elections, and people were like, yeah, we're kind of skeptical because if it makes sense to have snap elections, you will do it. So this makes completely strategic sense. To come back to that, the people who are against Trudeau might want to spin this around and say, well, actually, it's not might, they actually are. It makes strategic sense for them to say, but like, look, you're using the whole Cove situation as a way to gain power. Like, oh, you're using the Cove to gain power, boo. But again, strategically, this makes complete sense. And I do enjoy, like a lot of people who are anti-Trudeau, I do enjoy triggering them by constantly saying, Trudeau has like some corruption issues and some racist issues and some other issues, and which we could talk about. But when it comes to actually people's lives and what matters, and helping Canadian citizens, this whole Cove situation shows that the positives from that outweighs anything that he has done wrong. Like this has been such a major success, and I don't know how anybody could deny it.
You also have to look at the alternatives. I mean, we all have our issues with Trudeau. We've talked about the whole regressive left thing and how he kowtows to that. But ultimately, you've got the Conservatives, and then you have the NDP and here. So I mean, I'm going to be voting Liberal this time again. We're voting for Trudeau's party.
Hey guys, if you want to join these streams live, get your comments and questions read by Ali and Armin and the guests, and most importantly, to get full access to the full video versions of all these episodes, become a patron. Link in the description below.